Since we're celebrating Krishna Balaram's appearance today, I associate Balaram mainly with Vrindavan, together with Krishna. So I thought we could sing Sri Rajadhama Mahimamrta, as it's officially called, which is remembering Vrindavan Dham and the Lord and his associates, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan, Shri Govinda Gopinath, madana-mohan, śyama-kund, rādhā-kun, giri-govardhan, Kalindi, Yamuna, Jaya, Joya Mahaman. It's like a tour of Vrindavan. It's like a quick pilgrimage of Vrindavan through names of places in Vrindavan. Who has been to Vrindavan? Most of you. Who would like to go again to Vrindavan? Who has not been there? Who would like to go to Vrindavan? Who would like to stay in Vrindavan? Which Vrindavan? No? Oh, we have it now? Okay. Yes, okay. Let's try it. Let's just move this. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrndavana, Shri Govinda Gopinatha, madana-mohan, Jaya Radhe. śyama-kund, rādhā-kun, giri-govardhan, kalindi Yamuna, Jaya, Jaya Mahimamrta. keśī-ghāt, vanshivata, dwādaśa-kānan, jahashama, lila koilo, śrī-nanda-nandan. śrī-nanda-jaśodā, Jaya, Jaya gopa-gan, śrī-damani, Jaya, Jaya, dhenu-vatsa-gan, śrī-nanda-jaśodā, Jaya, Jaya Vrisha Bhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari Jaya Purna Masi Jaya ābhīra-nāgarī Jaya Jaya Gopishvara Vrndavana-mājh Jaya Jaya Krishna Kshetra Swami Jaya rāma-ghāta Jaya Rohini-nandan Jaya Jaya Vrndavana-bāsī jata-jaya Jaya dwija-patnī Jaya nāga-kanyā-gan Bhakti te jahara bhailo Govinda chara Shri-rasa mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sarva Manurama Jaya Jaya Chvala Rasa Sarva Rasa Parakiya Bhave Jaha Brajetre Pracha Shri Janama Pada Padma Koriya Smara Dina Krishna Dasa Kohe Nama Sankirtan Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Haribo, 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 Gaur Haribo. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Gaur Haribo. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Krishna Balarama ki jai, Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Nrsingadeva ki jai, Gaura Premanande. So, can we now shift this? Oh, we have it. Okay, good. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavani Paschatya Shatarine Vacha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. He Krishna karana sindhu dinabandho jagatpate gopesha gopika kanta rādhā-kanta namostute tapta kanchana gaurangi Radhe Vrndavaneswari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasani Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare. I thought we could read from Srimad Bhagavatam some verses spoken by Krishna to Balarama. And these verses come in chapter 15 of Canto 10. This chapter is called The Killing of Dhenuka, the ass demon. The ass demon. Of course, we understand. It's kind of warm in here. I think I have to. Don't mind. I'm going to undress a little bit. Okay. Now that's better. Yeah, so there are two categories of activity. One is called karma, and the other is called lila. And what we encounter in especially the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is lila. Sometimes Krishna is referred to as Lila Purushottama, Purusha Uttama, the supreme personality of Godhead of Lila. And there's another Purushottama, namely Maryada Purushottama, referring to Lord Rama. So we have three terms now, karma, lila, and maryada. It's starting to get confusing. Karma means action, lila means transcendental action. Lila is action which is free of karma. Figure that out. I think this microphone is a little too sensitive. Is it possible to... Yeah, thank you. Maryada is... What is Maryada? Maryada means something like boundaries. It can mean also propriety. And so Lord Rama is the Lord of propriety, of proper behavior, of dharmic behavior. Does that mean that Krishna is not a Lord of dharmic behavior? No, it doesn't mean that, but how he performs Dharma sometimes appears as if it's not Dharma. That's complicated already. But I think the main idea that we want to reflect on is the idea of lila as play. Play has a way of being kind of purposeless. Many animals, especially when they're babies, are playful. We've all seen kittens play and little puppies also playing. You could say their playing is kind of practice fighting. But still, it is defined as play. It's when kittens play, they have made it clear to each other, we are playing. We are not fighting. So Krishna is also playing, and he kind of declares that he is playing. And part of his play is to expand himself. He's having such powers. Anyone here able to expand yourself? Yeah? Any secrets you want to say again?
I'm expanded in my digital world.
You're expanded. You've expanded your form into the material world. Digital world. Oh, digital. Okay.
He's teaching on YouTube right now.
Right. As we speak, you are on. Very wonderful, mystical. How you do this. Yes, and as we know, the Lord expands in so many forms. And this is a cause of great bewilderment when we tell people that, yes, we are monotheist. You know this word, monotheist? You don't know? Oh, you're just saying that, so I'll explain. Yes. Mano means one, and theist means one who accepts that there is divinity, there is God. So one God. What are sometimes kind of lumped together as Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, have a lot of things in common, although they are not always appreciating each other. And one thing they have in common is that they will all agree we are monotheist. And then come the Hare Krishnas, and we say, yes, we're also monotheist. And the Jewish and the Christian and the Muslim people look at us like, huh? How many gods you have there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these stones, you say they're also God. Yeah. Yes, monotheist, one God who expands into many forms, each form for very, very specific purposes. And these purposes mainly have to do with lila. And so you could in some sense say the principal expansion, and that is said, the principal expansion, the first expansion of Krishna is Balarama, also known as Baladeva, also known as Balabhadra, also known as Sankarshana, and then he is expanding into so many. It's like not a domino effect, but one expansion leads to another expansion, which leads to another expansion. One interesting thing you may find, we have here on the altar, and today especially, we have Chota Nrsimha. If you noticed today, he has quite a big Ananta Shesha over him. My guess is this is no accident, because Ananta Shesha is a form of Balaram, multi-headed naga, snake, who protects the Lord. And this is one situation in which three is not a crowd. Huh? What am I talking about? Well, when there's a romantic meeting between a young boy and a young girl, we say in English, if a third person comes, three is a crowd. In other words, get out of here. It's just us two, right? So there's Lord Vishnu together with Lakshmi. And do they mind that also Ananta Shesha is there? No, they don't mind. They welcome him because he is in a mood of totally, how to put it, his mood is completely that of service. We heard this morning so nicely from Bhaktivāsudeva Maharaj about the service mood of Lord Balaram, even as, or particularly as, the elder brother. Being the elder brother, he wants to serve his younger brother. And one point which wasn't mentioned, why Balaram appears before Krishna, is to prepare Devaki's womb for Krishna to appear in the womb. Did you know that? You knew that. Little bit, sort of knew that. Yes, because prior to Balaram's appearance in the womb of Devaki, who was there in the womb? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 others, one after another. Who were these others? Huh? Sons of Hiranyaka, not exactly that. Yes. The 6 Vasus, yeah, they were cursed in any case. And they also, but the point is that they represent, according to our acharyas, they represent Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Matsarya, the 6 highway robbers that take us away from devotional service, and they had to appear and then be killed, one after another. And so they were in the womb of Devaki. And so there was a sense that there's need, first of all, to clean out any lingering impurities from her womb. Therefore, Balaram appears. He doesn't stay there. Krishna arranges for Balaram to be transferred, the word is used, transferred, to the womb of Rohini, who in one account appears in Vrindavan riding on a black horse. She comes on a black horse, and there in Vrindavan she gives birth to Balaram. And he's known therefore also as Sankarshana. Well, for that reason and for other reasons, but in this case he is attracted, Sankarshana, from the verbal root krish, which means to draw, to attract. Sankarshana, he's thoroughly drawn from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. In any case, that's all part of the Leela of Krishna. So that Krishna can have a brother to play with. As we also heard this morning, having children, it's good to have more than one child. Also for the expansion of the Hare Krishna movement, the more children there are, the more Hare Krishnas there will be. It's one form of preaching. Yeah. We laugh at this, but sociologists tell us that's the case, that religious movements expand significantly by expanding their progeny. All right, so they're playing, and we come to this chapter because Krishna has been having little adventures every day. According to Jiva Goswami, he doesn't just kill one or two demons. The Bhagavatam, 10th canto, describes the killing of around 20 demons altogether. But as some of you know, Jiva Goswami says every day, he kills a demon. It's part of his daily sadhana. And sometimes he kills two demons, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, just to, exercise. And sometimes he lets Balaram have fun killing demons. It's interesting, if you think about it, that although we say that nonviolence, in general we say nonviolence is a very good thing. Ahimsa, the word ahimsa, comes in the Bhagavad Gita 4 times, and in the Mahimamrta, I think it's also 4 times that ahimsa is described as the supreme dharma. And yet Krishna, as part of his Leela, which has no karma, no reactions, is killing those who are opposed to him. And we hear about this and we like it. We like to hear, Krishna killed another demon. It's also interesting that in his Krishna Leela, when Krishna kills the demons, he never uses any weapon. He always just uses his hands Or when he goes inside Aghasura, what does he do? Just gets really hot. Huh? Yeah, he becomes like a fireball or something. Yeah, so he just uses his hands, his fists. In the case of Putana, what did he use? His mouth. What did he do with his mouth? He just he sucked the life out of Putana. And when we hear this, we say, Jai Haribol. So Krishna is having this fun all the time that poor Kamsa, I mean, think about it, how difficult his life must have been. I mean, he could not stop thinking of Krishna. Would you like to be in his position? The motive behind. Yeah. I mean, it was good that he was always thinking of Krishna. Yes? Yes. But why was he thinking of Krishna? Fear. Out of fear, out of terror. He was terrified. And then, fast forward or jump over to see how Krishna is receiving the demons that Kamsa is sending to try to kill Krishna so that he can be relieved of having to think of Krishna. And Krishna's just having a good time. Is Krishna thinking of Kamsa? Maybe. We have a maybe in the room. Some people have babies and some have maybes. Oh no. All right. Let's chant this verse before I start speaking more silly things. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Aho Ami Deva Varamararchitam Padam Bhujante Sumana Palarhanam Namantya Padaya Shikhabiratmanas Tamo Pahatyai Tarujanma Yatkritam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O greatest of lords. So this is Krishna speaking, and he's speaking to Balarama. And they're walking in the Vrindavan forest. O greatest of lords, just see how these trees are bowing their heads at your lotus feet, which are worshipable by the immortal demigods. The trees are offering you their fruits and flowers to eradicate the dark ignorance that has caused their birth as trees. Krishna is complimenting Balarama. He's saying, even the trees are appreciating you. And how do we know that? Because we can see they're bending down and they're offering you their fruits. In Vrindavan, everything is personal. You have to watch out in Vrindavan, because every step you take is stepping on Bhumi Devi, who is special in Vrindavan. And everything you touch is a person. Even the clouds are persons, and the breezes are persons, and of course the trees. In the commentary it says the trees of Vrindavan were thinking. Trees were thinking? The trees of Vrindavan were thinking that because of past offenses they had now taken birth as trees. And being immovable, could not accompany Lord Krishna in his wanderings through the Vrindavan area. There's this sort of constant problem in Vrindavan. Everyone in Vrindavan is, we say in English, head over heels in love with Krishna. Head over heels, this, like, totally, what? Hals über Kopf? Okay, Hals über Kopf. Yeah. Huh? So, yeah, it's only the neck over the head. In English, it's the whole body, it's the heels are over the head. Anyway, the point is, everyone is crazy about Krishna. Why is that a problem? It's a problem because Krishna is not always visible. He's always going somewhere else. He's going to another forest. He's going home when they want him to be in the forest. When he's with the gopis, he's not with the gopas. When he's with his parents, he's not with the gopis or the gopas. So there's always this problem, except there's one special time when this problem is temporarily solved. When was that? Yes, Govardhan. When Krishna lifts Govardhan hill, he creates with his left hand a temple to himself, and he invites everyone in under the inside the temple, while Indra's clouds are out trying to make trouble. And so for 7 days, 7 nights, non-stop, everyone has non-stop darshan of the Lord. But otherwise, there is this, you could say, a problem. The devotees are always in anxiety. And here it's mentioned that the trees were similarly feeling some dissatisfaction. Because they were trees, they were fixed in one place. They couldn't walk with Krishna. There was some film, was it Lord of the Rings or something? The trees were walking. Yeah. We don't watch films. Okay. Let's go to the next verse. Can we shift to the next verse? Let me know when it's there. Just now coming. I should have said earlier. So there's a series here of, I think it's 5 verses that Krishna is speaking to Balarama. Is it there? Oh. Okay, let's chant this. Ete linastava yashokila lokatirtam. Gayanta adi purushanupatang bhajante. Prayo ami munigana bhavadiya mukhya. Gudhang vanepi na jahatyanu anagatma daivam. O original personality, these bees must all be great sages and most elevated devotees of yours, for they are worshipping you by following you along the path and chanting your glories, which are themselves a holy place for the entire world. Though you have disguised yourself within this forest, O sinless one, they refuse to abandon you, their worshipable Lord. So Krishna is continuing to express his appreciation of Balarama. And in this case, by referring to the bees, apparently the bees were following. Unlike the trees, the bees could follow. It says in the last line, Gudham vane. And in the commentary it says the word Gudham is significant in this verse. Gudha means hidden. It indicates that although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his form of Krishna or Balaram, appears like an ordinary human being within the material world, great sages always recognize the Lord as the supreme absolute truth. And so the point is that Krishna is telling Balaram, oh, these bees, they recognize you. Why do they recognize you? Well, it must be because they are great sages. You know, if bees come around us, we tend to feel annoyed, right? Get away. But bees in Vrndavana are very auspicious. I read some time ago that devotees were having a celebration at, where is it? It's near keśī-ghāt. I'm forgetting the exact place, but it's celebrated as the place where Srimati Radharani where she met the bumblebee and where she speaks these famous words in chapter 47. The Brahmana-gīta, as it's called. So devotees were having a commemoration of that event at this place. And just when they were starting the formal celebration, a big bumblebee came. And everyone went, wow. Everyone was very excited. Krishna is glorifying Balaram, that's the point. But he's doing so in a particular mood. And what is that mood? It's a joking mood. He's not making fun of Balaram, but he is kind of, there's a tinge of irony. And how do we know this? Well, what is the hue, what is the color of Balaram? Yeah, we say white. He's also described as having, the whiteness is like the white of the moon, the full moon, right? And the full moon is what? It's reflecting the light of the sun. But also his whiteness is compared to a crystal, a clear crystal. And the crystal has this feature that whatever you put it, whatever is put next to it, it shows that light or that color. And so Balaram is, we always think of Balaram as, we think in terms of muscles. We think, yes, Balaram, the Lord who is full of power, full of strength. And yes, spiritual strength, but where is the spiritual strength coming from? Yes, it's coming from Balaram, and Balaram is the Lord of reflection. He reflects the light from Krishna, and he also reflects whatever comes near to him. So devotee, in remembering Balaram, is remembering that reflective aspect of the Lord. And that gives spiritual strength, because to be reflective there's literal reflection, like reflection in a mirror, and we understand clear reflection is also very important when we say Cheto Darpana-marjanam, Bhava-mahādavagni nirvapanam. Cheto Darpana-marjanam, cleansing the mirror of the heart. And how is that done? Param vijayate, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, and especially we are advised to simply chant the Mahimamrta, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we get this in one short package. We get the whole absolute truth for polishing the mirror of the chetas, of the consciousness. Whoops. Shri Shri Palad Lakshmi Nrsingadev Ki Jai. I meant to ask, what is our schedule? What time should I stop? If I were Radhanath Swami, I might be able to do that. He can lecture for 6 hours, no problem. But I won't. He'll lecture for 5 hours, and then he'll say, "I think we should stop now." No, and devotees say, "No, no, no, no," and then he'll go on for another hour. But then always some small child in the back says, "Yes!" Can we go to the next verse? So there is something happening.
So the door, I think, is technically 9.
Oh. Oh, now I get it. Okay. Huh?
On the other hand, it is also clear time. Yes.
On the other hand, there are 4 fingers and a thumb. Maybe we should. I'm all for stopping now. If no. I'm waiting for the little child in the back to say, yes! Shri Shri Palad Lakshmi Singade Ki Jai, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Ki Jai. Okay, we have the verse? Yes. Nrityantyami shikina idyamuda harinya. Kurvanti gopya ivate priyam ikshanena. Suktaischa kokila gana griham agataya. Danyāvana-okasa iyan hisatang nisarga. O worshipable one, these peacocks are dancing before you out of joy. These doe are pleasing you with affectionate glances, just as the gopis do. And these cuckoos are honoring you with Vedic prayers. All these residents of the forest are most fortunate, and their behavior toward you certainly befits great souls receiving another great soul at home. I kind of didn't complete what I was saying before, that there's a tinge of humor in what Krishna is saying. And that's because the color of Balaram is associated with hasya rasa. Hasya? Hasya. What is hasya? Humor. Yeah, so Krishna's having fun. And he's kind of elbowing his older brother, Hey, look, they're all praising you. They're all after you. As we know, they're actually all after Krishna. But also, he really wants to glorify Balaram, because, of course, Balaram's business is to create the stage on which Krishna performs his pastimes. In this case, what is the stage? The stage is Vrindavan, Vrndavana, with all of these flora and fauna, right? So there's an interesting thing going on here. Balaram has arranged all of this. He's imported Vrindavan from the spiritual realm, we can say. He's set up the stage. He set up the womb of Devaki for Krishna to appear. Now he's set up the stage of Vrindavan. Now they're walking through the stage, and Krishna, the hero, for which Balaram has made all this arrangement, is praising the stage manager, if you like. Okay, there's just one more. Yes, one more verse. Can we? You already got it? Okay. Danyeya madhyadarani trinavirudastvat Padasprishodrumalata karajabhimrishta. Nadyodraya khagamriga sadaya valokai. Gopyon tarena bujayor api yat sprihasri. This earth has now become most fortunate because you have touched her grass and bushes with your feet and her trees and creepers with your fingernails. And because you have graced her rivers, mountains, birds, and animals with your merciful glances. But after all, you have embraced the young cowherd women between your two arms, a favor hankered after by the goddess of fortune herself. Yeah, there's a lot of richness here. The last comment is especially interesting. We understand it is Krishna who performs the Rasa Lila with the gopis, and that is especially celebrated in chapters 29 through 33. And we also know, however, that Balarama has his own followers, his own gopi associates with whom he also dances. And this reminds us that Krishna and Balarama are essentially the same. Sometimes it's said the only difference is the color. But we're not entirely convinced that that's the only difference, isn't it? It seems like Balarama has a different mood, especially when he especially when he gets drunk. And then he calls to River Yamuna to come to be with him, and she refuses because he's drunk. And then he insists that she come. And how does she insist? By dragging her with his plow. Sankarshana. Yes, Balarama has a plow, and what does one usually do with a plow? What are plows for? Plowing. Yes, that's the most precise and perfect answer I've heard all day. What do you do with a plow? You plow. And why would you plow? Agriculture. Why would you do agriculture? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? To grow food. Oh, yes. We generally call this farming, right? There's now a method of farming called no-till farming, right? I don't know what we're going to do about this in terms of celebrating Balarama as the original farmer. But it's interesting that it's mentioned here, above all, you have embraced the young cowherd women between your two arms, a favor hankered after by the goddess of fortune herself. So this last verse brings in, of course, the Sringara or the Madhurya rasa. So it's been the verses are describing essentially friendship, sakhya, and this is Balarama's main mood in Vrindavana. But it's mixed. There's within the Sakhya, there's also dasya, and there's also vatsalya, and it's all within Sakhya. Did I lose you there? So what is Sakhya? Sakhya means friendship. And yeah, we all have some idea what friendship is, right? Friends are good to have, yes? Yeah. What would life be without friends? Some people don't have friends, and they suffer very much. Some people, I was just reading, some people, many people, not some, but many people are, what's the word? Entfremdet. They're separated from their families. Estranged. They're estranged from their families. One estimate in America, the estimate is that some 67 million people are estranged from at least one person in their own families. That means they have nothing to do with someone in their immediate families. Because family culture has become so disturbed. It's come to the point where there are online groups of people who encourage each other sometimes to separate from their families. If someone feels that their parents are abusive or whatever, then they encourage it. They just become completely disconnected from them. And there's even books, how to totally disconnect from someone else in your family. So that's become a trend. Welcome to the age of Kali. So what we get a little glimpse of in the Bhagavatam are these wonderful rasas, which are without beginning and without end, and which are constantly expanding. Nava rasa. Yat avadi mama cheta Krishna padaravinde nava rasa damadut yantam rantam asit. And this is interesting in this verse just because it's bringing in the Shanta rasa also, because the plants and the grass, the bushes, the rivers, the mountains, the birds, the animals, so they're all living and they're all persons, and so what is their relationship with the Lord? Shanta, it's a peaceful relation. So this is all being discussed, you could say, in between the Shanta and the Madhurya. There's Krishna and Balarama. And what are they doing? They're walking through the forest, and the original Lord, Krishna, who has expanded himself as Balarama, and that it's not that Krishna is thinking, oh, here's just an expansion of me, so I'm just talking with myself. That would be kind of spooky, wouldn't it? No, for him, Balarama is a separate person, and he's praising him. And in this way, he's also giving us the example of what to do, to appreciate how everyone and everything in some way or other are engaged in service. So we could say he's giving the example of the vision of the advanced devotee. What is it? Sarvabhuteshu ya pashyat bhagavat bhavamatmana bhutani bhagavat yatmani esha bhagavatottama. Seeing the Lord in all living beings, and all living beings in the Lord. So, who can do that better than Krishna himself? And who better than Balarama can he praise as the one, the stage manager, so to say, who's set up this whole beautiful Leela scene where there's absolute freedom from any anxiety of karmic reaction, where they can simply play, and the playing is simply becoming ever sweeter, ever more fun. They never get tired. And if they get tired, that's just some way of having some more fun. So when Krishna, takes a rest, then it's an opportunity for the cowherd boys to come and massage his feet and so on. This is what's happening in Vrndavana. So we are here in Simhachalam, and temples, what are the temples? The temples, Srila Prabhupada said they are embassies. Have you ever been inside an embassy? No?
Yes.
Yes, everyone's been to get some visa or some passport or whatever. And maybe you felt a little bit like you're in the country of that embassy, right? Of course, it might not have been the most pleasant feeling. Whenever I go into an American embassy to renew my passport or whatever, it's a little bit strange. But those are material embassies. We have here spiritual embassy. And spiritual means it's an extension of the spiritual realm. And that means it's a possibility to practice what our Shastra is preaching. And in particular, what it's preaching is this mood of service. Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arashabha Britya Jare Jaiche Nachai Setaiche Kare Nritya. Ekale Ishvara Krishna, the only Ishvara is Krishna. Jare Jaiche Nachai, and however he dances, Setaiche Nritya, we all dance to his tune. He's setting the pace. Krishna is dancing. Krishna dances, by the way. The famous or notorious, depending how you look at it, German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche famously said in his book, Das Also sprach Zarathustra. He said, I would believe in a God who dances. If God would dance, I would believe in him. Poor man, nobody told him about Krishna. He was quite miserable at the end of his life. In fact, he ended up in an insane asylum. Yeah, so Krishna dances, Balarama dances, the gopis dance, the gopas dance, everyone is, yes, Shriya Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpataravo Juma Bhumischintamani Ganamayi Toyamamritam Kata Ganam Natyam Gamanam Api. Gamanam means going, and Natyam means dancing. So the going is dancing in the spiritual world. The water is nectar. The trees are kalpataru. The words are poetry. So these embassies are places where we can connect to such a world, but we need to practice it ourselves. We're not just bystanders, we're participants. Yeah. Hare Krishna. On that point, we can stop unless someone has a further reflection. Yes, Balarama.
I don't know if you want to continue your point on reflection.
The point on reflection, well, just that we also, it's part of spiritual life that we are self-reflective, that we reflect internally what's going on, that we're not just all about action, action, action. We're not just about playing our part. That's also nice, but we're also reflective, meaning what it means is we're always looking for the spiritual core of what we are about. Spiritual life is about self-realization and God-realization. They go together. When the sun rises, everything becomes illuminated, ourselves and everything around us. And we are called on to be self-reflective, and I think this is what Shastra is encouraging us as well. That reflective means also being honest with ourselves, isn't it? Not deluding ourselves, thinking everything is okay with ourselves when maybe it's not okay. And therefore, Rupa Goswami says, one of the elements of loving exchange between devotees is guhyamakyati, to share some confidence about ourselves. We have to be a little careful with that. There is a problem in this age of Kali that someone confides in me, and then if I'm not careful, I might share that with someone else when it's intended for me only, for my ears. And of course what happens then is there's a loss of trust. And we need more than anything else to cultivate a feeling of trust amongst each other, amongst ourselves. It's a very intangible and yet so valuable thing. And one way we do that is we keep the confidences to ourselves, and we make friends with those with whom we can confide. That's part of the process. So Balarama is also Balaram is the Lord of spiritual strength. So that's very essential also for spiritual strength, isn't
it? If I understand you correctly, are you saying, Maharaj, that by reflections we get spiritual strength, and by reflections we please Lord Balaram?
Yes, we can say like that. By keeping open to understand more deeply who we are, not to simply settle for what maybe others think we are, or not simply. We're not politicians. Politicians are always putting up some show. Huh? Yeah, they have an agenda, and they want us to think something about us so they vote for us. You know. Yeah. So it's a kind of figurative use of the word reflective. And, we usually just think of light as reflecting, but to be self-reflective, to reflect about oneself, that doesn't mean to just get self-absorbed, I, me, and mine, but it just means being thoughtful. And certainly that pleases the Lord, and that gives us strength. Yeah. We want to be, I would say it's about being authentic, and authenticity is a desirable thing. It's a foundation then for us to genuinely engage in service. Does that make sense? Sort of. Yes.
Thank you very much for your explanation and lecture. You spoke on the different rasas of Balarama.
Uh-huh.
And can you tell us something about his being the younger sister of Radharani as Ananga-manjari? Because there's also interesting aspect of his personality, and who of our acharyas was actually speaking or writing about Ananga-manjari.
Can I tell you about that? No. Why? Because it's been quite some time since I've read about that, and my aging memory doesn't have it right here for you. But it is interesting, as you say. It's kind of, these multiple identities are kind of intriguing, isn't it? There's a certain fluidity to divine form. There's a kind of fluidity. The Lord, Krishna, expands and he becomes Balarama, and then again he expands and he becomes so many other forms, and he expands to reciprocate with his devotees who want to relate with him in a certain way. There's a verse that it explains that, and so I would say here is the general principle that the Lord is expanding in that particular way for some particular relationship to function as the Lord wants it to be. A little mysterious, isn't it? Yeah. Ananga-manjari, there's a deity of Ananga-manjari together, as I remember. There's madana-mohan, there's Radha, there's madana-mohan, and there's Ananga-manjari. In the madana-mohan temple in Vrndavana and in Karoli, and now also in Govardhan eco-village. Yeah. Have you been there? 50% of your life. Someone else, I think. One of the ladies. Yes.
Maharaj, what can we do in our daily living, like each day, to please Lord Balaram more, or try to do it so?
To please Lord Balaram. One thing you can do is chant nicely the Mahimamrta, remembering when you chant Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, you can remember Lord Balarama. And that's because when two devotees went one time to Srila Prabhupada to resolve their dispute, whether whether Rama refers to Ramachandra or to Balarama. What did Prabhupada say? Both, yes. So you can certainly remember Balarama when you chant Rama, Rama, Hare, Hare. How else you can remember, you can please Balaram is to be thinking whatever paraphernalia. What is you know this word, paraphernalia? On the altar we have so many paraphernalia that are used in offering to the Lord. And it's explained that all of this paraphernalia is Balaram. So I mentioned how he creates the stage, and everything on the stage. So just remembering the elements, the air we breathe, everything is this energy which is coming from specifically Lord Balaram. You can be thinking like that. And then you become more conscientious, dealing with physical things. Does that make sense? When Srila Prabhupada was in, where was it? Well, maybe, I don't know, it was, in any case, maybe it was in Bhaktivedanta Manor, 1973. Srila Prabhupada in his room was sitting and several devotees were there, and someone had given Srila Prabhupada a gift, and the gift was wrapped in gift wrap paper. And I just always was struck when I watched him as he was unwrapping how careful he was when he was doing it. He didn't just tear it open. No, he was very carefully. Because he was thinking, yeah, this is nice paper, it can be used again. Why waste it? You know, it was, Prabhupada would say, first be conscious, then be Krishna conscious. So being conscious of, and one had that sense also in general, that Srila Prabhupada was kind of super conscious of everything going on around him. Yeah, so it's not necessarily about doing, although Prabhupada did emphasize action, seva. He always insisted the word bhakti is best translated as devotional service. He liked that devotees are doing practical service. But it's not only that, it's also our just awareness of everything about us. So that's one way you can feel Balaram is present. Is that okay? Good. Yes, you had another. You.
I don't feel confident to come back to the same point, but only if you like. Sometimes I notice like I'm more goal-oriented and just caring about the results and whatever it is, chanting or service, sadhana and so on.
You're not the only one.
Good. But how do we change our consciousness? I think what they say, the bahir mukha, yeah, from an external devotee to a devotee who is more reflective, introspective.
Well, starting point is think of devotees who are reflective and have a feeling you would like to be like them. That's a good general rule of thumb in general, something we admire in another devotee. Appreciate what that devotee quality is, and just remembering that devotee can rub off on you. But also just giving some time for yourself. I heard this indirectly, but it made sense to me that Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj says, what is it? 1 hour per day for yourself, 1 day per week, for yourself, and what is it? 1 month in the year for yourself. Give yourself time to withdraw. And it's also been, I've seen a very nice point about friendship, and this comes back to Balarama. Balarama is the cynosure of Sakya Rasa, friendship. One thing that friendship characterizes friendship is it respects the withdrawal of a friend to be with himself. Friendship doesn't mean always pushing yourself on someone else. It means giving others space as well. Yeah, so sometimes I need my space, that's what I can say. I think we all do. Yeah. Is that okay? Jai. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Balarama ki jai, Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai, Ananta Goti Vaishnavinda ki jai, Shri Shri Palad Lakshmi Nrsingadev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
His Holiness Krishna Kshetra Swami ki jai.